WGNS Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, streaming worldwide on wgnssports.com, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches since 1992. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. We'll talk to the coaches about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. Now from News Radio WGNS, it's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Coaches Show here this morning on this 8th day of February. Glad you're with us here today. It's girls basketball week this week. And honestly, yeah, it's the last girls Coaches Show before tournament play starts. So crazy to think that we are that close. But a week from tomorrow, a week from yesterday, the regular season will be in the books. So this next Tuesday, Friday, the last of the regular season, and then we'll be talking tournaments and such. Now that's for Division I teams. Division II teams, they're going to start their district play next week, I believe it is. They're usually a week earlier in anticipation. Everything's just a bit later this year, it seems. I know last year we had the tournament, and then the Saturday of the tournament was before everyone was out for President's Day. And then looking at the state tournament, you know, it's the second and third week, I think it is, of March. So anyway, a little later for things this time around. Let's run down the scores for you this morning, and then I'll let you know who is going to be on the Coaches Show. Well, let me do that for you first. Why not? This morning, of course, we're going to have Riverdale conversation in just a couple of moments. I'm going to talk with Coach Joshua Bugg about the Lady Warriors, and then John's going to take on the Smyrna and Blackman, Laverne and Oakland interviews today. And I'll come back for the Stewart's Creek Rockvale interviews. We're doing that little switcheroo this morning to try to catch up with some of the coaches that we have not had the opportunity. Our schedule has gotten off a little bit. Haven't had the opportunity to talk to. And then Danny will wrap us up this morning with Siegel, Eagleville, and MTCS. MTCS Cougar Corner around 11:15 today. We do have some Lady Raider hoops this afternoon at 4:30 airtime, which you can hear here on WGNS. Well, last night, some interesting scores on the night, and let's start it off with girls' scores on the Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard. It was Wilson Central defeating Smyrna 57-28. Stewart's Creek a winner 59-40 over Laverne. It was a 63-42 win for the Blackman girls. They improved to 19-2 on the season. And let's see, Marshall County a winner 42-34. It was Gallatin defeating Riverdale 47-28. Rockvale 73, Siegel 25. And Eagleville back on the winning track with a 45-28 win over Huntland. So that is the girls' scores that we have for you last night. And all of this is at wgnssports.com. It's the first article you see there. It says local scores and schedules, I think, is the way that it's titled. But you'll see there when you click on that, all the scores. And it's the Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard powered by Coach T. So last night in boys, Providence Christian a winner 66-52, and that clinches the district crown for PCA. Did not see a girls' final, but I do think they won. But I don't have the final score over Webb. In boys last night as well, Smyrna come from behind, overtime, 66-57 victory. So congrats to Coach Smith there, the win over Wilson Central. They were down 9-10, somewhere in there at one point in that game. Barn burner at Stewart's Creek with Laverne picking up the 59-53 win. That's going to be a crazy boys district, District 7. In District 8 last night in the game we had on WGNS and Big G TV, Blackman 64, Oakland 43. Marshall County downs Central Magnet 88-43. It was Gallatin picking up the 68-38 win. And also last night, first I had to text Coach Wendell Ingram this morning to ask him about this one, and the Rockets were winners 76-67 over Siegel last night. So that kind of throws that district in a bit of turmoil as well. You've got Blackman and then everybody else, and kind of interesting there. Eagleville boys almost hit the century mark last night. With their 21-2 record, they were winners over Huntland 98-27. So that is a look at the Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard, boys style, and got you the girls' scores as well. So now all that's left to do is pour another cup of coffee and talk to the coaches. So Joshua Bugg from Riverdale will join me coming up next on WGNS Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Stay with us for more of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
And the Blue Raiders win again.
Man, I really need to get some new MT gear.
Where are you going?
I thought I'd go to the bookstore.
Bookstore? I thought you wanted gear. Businesses always put what they're most proud of in their name.
So where do you go?
Raider Tees. They have tees, polos, hats, chairs, tents, artwork, everything blue for the true Blue Raider fan. They're just off Broad Street behind Chewy's Restaurant on Ridgely Road.
Raider Tees.
Like us on Facebook for early notice of specials and sales.
Raider Tees. Bigger, better, and go blue.
Pizza. You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
Back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who'll work with you to develop a complete and tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin. Joining me now in studio, Joshua Bugg, the head coach of the Riverdale Lady Warriors. Coach, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you. You know, I was just thinking in preparing to talk with you, and I was looking over the scores for the season and such. It's been a long time since Lawrence County and Kenwood, hasn't it?
It has. It really has.
It seems like an eternity.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, basketball is a game of runs, and it's a season that's the same exact way. And so we've got a JV tournament today at Riverdale. We've got a lot of good schools there, so that'll be a good experience for our young players. And then just 2 more regular season games, and then everybody's 0-0 reset.
Yeah.
And so I guess, you know, if I'm being real right now, we're in a little bit of a funk, and we've got to figure out how to turn that in the right direction and just keep our kids playing hard and keep them together. But, yeah, it's been a long time since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I can only imagine the ups and downs of an entire season. And you mentioned JV there, and, you know, there are a lot of things that fall under the umbrella of head coach. You can't do them all, but you have to delegate and have your hand in all of it too. So, I mean, JV is an important part of your future.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, I read a book like 7 years ago, and it just talked about how kids want to play. And so we try to incorporate those things in practice, where's game like. But, you know, the bottom line is we want our kids to play, whether it's JV or varsity. That's what they sign up for. And today they get to do that in the tournament format, which is really cool, good experience. Somebody's be first, somebody be second out of 7 teams. And so looking forward to that when I get back over there. I think the first game this morning was Lebanon versus Stewart's Creek. So
first game this morning already, right?
Yeah, 9 a.m. yeah.
So tell me about are these teams from the county? Is this, I mean, do you have like a little county championship, or is this teams from outside, or how do you put that together?
So I had put it on our schedule wanting to host some events. Riverdale used to host a lot of things on the girls' side, and just trying to establish those things. And it's harder than it looks. You know, I think forever they ran the greatest team camps during the summer. And so last year we brought back a pretty good middle school event. We're going to try to run that again. I already got information out for that. And so this one, you know, we had several sponsors. Volunteer Stainless, which is my mom's company. She helped me a lot, and then Celeste and Claire Maxwell, they helped me get our officials paid for so that we could generate a little bit of a profit off the event. But we've got Lebanon, Cookeville, Wilson Central, Stewart's Creek, Smyrna, Kip out of Nashville, and then us to round out seven teams. And yeah, just kind of a cap-in event for those kids that only got to play JV, but we've obviously got 4 or 5 kids that play a lot of varsity, and so it's really good for them because they're getting a double dip.
Sure. It's you don't know whether, you know, maybe when you're playing an opponent one week, whether they have freshmen or JV, and sometimes they do and don't, and you just almost have to create your own schedule for all of those age groups, right?
Yeah, and I think the way that I do things is similar to what I see, you know, Randy Kaufman, Corey Barrett. You know, people got away from, hey, we're going to play 3:30, jam in 4 straight games, and a lot of people play their JV stuff on the weekend. And I think this is kind of the narrative that I tell our parents and our program and our kids and our coaches. Like, I consider our JV like our second 5. And so we're always trying to develop that depth. Mm-hmm. So, you know, obviously you're going to throw 5 out there that you think is going to give you a chance to win in your varsity games, but your best varsity teams are going to be the teams that have more depth. And so it's definitely not a knock from my perspective to be playing JV. It's all about their development, and we want them to have success there so that they're ready to handle more, you know, intense environments and adversity and things like that.
Makes total sense, because just look at your season this year. You've had to deal with injuries. You get into foul trouble, and I know that was something that kind of plagued you last night. You're going to call on someone that you hope has had more than just experience on the varsity floor.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we wrap our minds around like what we want to do. We have a defensive system. You know, we have full court presses, zones. We have mans. We have, you know, 10, 11 things that we like, and depending on who we're playing, we try to, you know, simulate pressure because we're more of a defensive team than an offensive team. And I think most of your good teams are, for the most part. But, you know, we're really just struggling with foul trouble right now, and that's something that we've got to figure out. You know, I definitely, you know, will take the lead on that and saying, hey, that's my fault. You know, try to figure out a way to coach better and put them in a better spot as players on the floor. But, you know, so I don't know, I got off a mark a little bit there, but defensively we've got to be better without fouling. But when you got a lot of young players and they're playing, you know, for example, we played really good against Blackman the other day, but, you know, we're trying to guard Lyric, who scored 25. And if you look at the end result of the game, like, she's the difference, that one player. And last night for Gallatin, they had a big, strong senior post player, had 25 points as well. So there's a lot of positives that we do that don't always show up on the scoreboard. And we're really not that far away, but, you know, we've really got to focus in with this time that we have left for this season. And, yeah, we want to develop JV, but we want to try to get the most out of the rest of this season that we can.
Well, and, you know, like I started out, it's been so long since Kenwood and Lawrence County, but it's not too long. You've got one more week in the regular season before, as you mentioned, being 0-0, and likely if the brackets turn out the way that the standings are at this point, you'll have a rematch with Siegel, which you split with, and that's the last time we got to see you guys, that road game, and boy, that was just really a grueling game. It was the longest high school girls game I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it didn't really hit me until we got out of there, but I think somebody said the boys didn't start until about 8:10.
Yeah, because
they also had their senior night or homecoming or something, one of them things there. Here's the thing about Siegel. Siegel, their guards stepped up in that game. They got a couple young kids that applied some pressure when we got in foul trouble on some of our second and third ball handlers. They've got a junior post player that does really well around the basket, number 22. I struggle with her name sometimes. I think it's Neela
Alexander, yeah.
But, you know, she does a really good job, and I like the spirit that they play with. And, that game in particular, we lead the whole entire game. I'm missing, my main ball handler. She didn't play in that game at all. And then we had 3 kids foul out. And so it was just like this slippery slope as the game went on. And the crowd really got to some of our kids. And, foul trouble was an issue again. And, they earned it. We split with them last year. They won over there. We won at our place. So it's the same exact scenario. I think we're a lot better this year, and I think we'll be prepared to handle that game. But you can't take anybody for granted, and they're definitely capable of beating us. Coach Weekly's doing a nice job with those girls, and I've known Coach Middleton for a long time. I know he still has a lot of influence on the bench over there, and we'll be prepared to play whoever we need to. Our kids will be focused, and they're going to give it their best. And, what my mom always tells me, she reminds me to this day, hey, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and it's just the reality of the world that we live in. And, that's the cool part about it. You're competing, and hopefully when we do play that game, it's going to be Riverdale that gets to advance to the region tournament. And, if I'm being honest, nobody wants to be that one team that doesn't make it on the boys or the girls side. Last year we made it. That was a good, step forward for us. And so this year our goal is definitely to make it to the region and then try to win a first-round game, which won't be any, easy task because you're looking at a Lebanon or a Cookeville or a Stewart's Creek. And the good thing about our district is, everybody's pretty good. And so you get pushed around a little bit, and it can either make you better or it can make you, a little nervy. But I think our kids are getting better through all the adversity.
And Joshua Bugg is our guest this morning talking Riverdale girls basketball. You still have 2 district games left, and so maybe a bit premature. You're going to be underdogs against Oakland and Rockvale, but that's why you roll the ball out there and play the game too.
Absolutely. Last time we played Oakland, it was just so much better as compared to last year. I think we ended up losing by 19 or 20 points, but Alana Waller stepped up in that game. I think she was the leading scorer on the floor. She had 21 or 22 points, so that was a big step for her. She really does have the ability to just be elite, and my challenge for her right now is don't be just elite driving the basketball. People know you can do that. Like, be elite on the defensive end. Be elite as a leader. Be elite on the rebounds, because she's definitely got that ability. And I think we're going to go as she goes. And if I look at last year, during the regular season, if you go back and look at it, we almost beat Rockville twice. There was 2 very close games. They ended up taking it, I think, by like 4 when we played over there. It was a shootout last year. It was like 68-64. It was a fun game. They turned us over at the end. And, but this is a new year. We played them a couple weeks ago without Alana, and they really got after us. They put a hurting on us from a scoreboard perspective. And, it'll be just an opportunity for our kids to respond. And that's why we play the games. Looking forward to it. And, we don't want to beat teams that we should beat. We want to figure out a way to win that big game. And that's really where we are as a coaching staff. Like, we just want to have that big game, that staple win for them. And what better time to do it than at the end of the season? So.
Sure, absolutely. And you're going to have to do you've got away and home next week at Oakland. And whenever you say Riverdale and Oakland in the same sentence, it brings back all those old school rivalries too.
Yeah, and if you look across like the county, just with the things that the Rutherford County Schools is doing, like the campus is looking beautiful. All the construction should be done in August, and so those 2 schools mean a lot to Rutherford County Schools, and there's a lot of investment there. And I definitely feel a lot of support from our school admin and just people in the community, because it's the same on every side. Every school's got people that want to see them do well, and, definitely with Riverdale and Oakland.
Well, it's the oldest rivalry in Murfreesboro, but, I've seen, you guys have a rivalry with Blackman. I mean, everybody has – it seems like if you play in Rutherford County versus Rutherford County teams, they're a rival. It's a rival game just about every night.
Yeah, absolutely. We look sometimes and, like to see a little bit more people at the games, kind of like it used to be, but there's just so many, games going on at the same time in the same county. It's just a big county. There's a lot going on, and everybody's got the ability to be good on any given night. And so Oakland's talented. They got some seniors that handle the ball. Cadence can score the ball really well, and they've got a good group. They definitely have the ability to finish in the top of our district and region. So it's not going to be an easy challenge no matter who we're playing.
Well, Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning, and good luck with your JV tournament. That's an all-day deal for you today, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right.
If anybody wants to watch some games, come on out and buy a ticket, buy Gatorade, and sit down and watch some basketball.
No rest for the weary, right?
No, sir.
I appreciate you coming in.
All right, thank you, sir.
That's Joshua Bugg joining us this morning, the head coach of the Riverdale Lady Warriors on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer, everything from business cards, brochures, booklets to banners. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks. We hear a lot people who have been working with printers on the internet, had issues, and they know that if we're working with someone local, that A, they know where to find us, and B, they know that we'll take care of it because we have to take care of our neighbors. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're here at Rick's Barbecue catching up with Anne-Marie Brents, who tells us not only do they have barbecue, smoked chicken, loaded baked potatoes, but the slaw dogs are out of this world.
I do love the slaw dogs. People are like, is that a big sausage? I'm like, no, it's a deep fried hot dog. And the slaw that we put on them is a spicy mustard slaw. It's actually really good. I like to dip it in white sauce.
Rick's Barbecue has awesome deals to feed the entire family.
We have family packs, and it can feed 4 to 6 people. We have a picnic pack, which is the family pack doubled.
Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
So what if your roommate decides to microwave a metal mixing bowl and set your apartment on fire? I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves. Auto, renters, frankly, any kind of insurance. I've got your back. Call me at 615-873-1700.
Renters, when you combine State Farm auto and renters insurance, you save an average of $642. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams, and I'm ready to help you combine auto and renters insurance and save. Call me at 615-459-2683.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at prenticeallsup.com. And joining me here on the show this morning is Lonnie Drayton, the head coach of the Lady Bulldogs of Smyrna. And I hear that your voice is not quite up to 100%.
Well, we had, 3 days and 3 games and 3 nights or whatever, or 4 nights. So, yeah, it's got to me right now.
I can tell, Lonnie. I really can. It's been a kind of an interesting week and up and down, yo-yo kind of week, but you had a win over Knowledge Academy, and which was good for the girls. And then I want to go back, which you may have even talked about the last time, but I don't think you did. The Stewart's Creek game you had at Smyrna.
Oh yeah.
I've seen your girls the last 4 years. It may have been one of the greatest comebacks. You didn't get the win, but one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen from a Smyrna team.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I've said it the whole time, and I am at Oakland right now, JV boys basketball tournament. So, but let me tell you, those girls, I've said it over and over again. They are, just so resilient. Right now, when they were playing Stewart's Creek, there wasn't a time that they didn't think that they could win that game.
Right.
And they fought for it. Sometimes sometimes size in basketball just wins out. Doesn't matter how scrappy and how hard you're playing. Sometimes talent and size will just win out. So it was one of those situations when, in the fourth quarter, I'm looking up at the clock, and we either had the lead or we just tied the game up. And they went to the big dog, Camden down there, and there's not much we could do after that. So, but our girls kept fighting and kept scrapping, and even undersized, they kept believing the whole time. So I love it.
Well, Lonnie, it showed me one thing, and when you're the last few years have not been good for wins, but when it comes to girls learning the game, you can see a huge difference in how they handle the press. That's the first thing I look at, and then how you move the basketball. And because I know you teach them defense, because I've always seen that with them. But the way they hold themselves, it's just you can tell there's a huge improvement, not just a little improvement, but a huge improvement. It may not be in wins and losses, but if you're knowledgeable about the game, you can see it right there.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it because we do. I mean, we work constantly. I mean, on that right there, and it just. Sometimes it does think that it doesn't translate to wins, but I'm going to tell you, those girls, like you just said, in the last couple of years, the ability to, not panic when any pressure is put on you, and just, stay calm and stay reserved when you have, something thrown at you that you think is new. Because, back in a couple of years ago, there was a huge panic when a press. I mean, we just faltered, when any pressure was put on us. So I appreciate you noticing that because we have worked tirelessly on it.
Well, if anything, really, Coach, what they do, they move the ball. They bring the ball down the floor fast. They make the opponents, which I've never seen that from a Smyrna team in the last few years, been able. I know you want to do it, but for them to be able to do it was really impressive.
Right. And that's, it's awesome. And we know the philosophy is, we don't have a girl on our team right now. I wish we did, but we don't have a girl on our team over 5'7", 5'8".
Right.
And, everybody we're playing is big. They've got 6, and, they got guards as big as our post. Yeah. So our philosophy is to get it in transition down the court as fast as we can before they can set up their defense, their half-court defense. If we can get some, because once they set up the half-court defense, it gets extremely hard for us to score, other than if it's an occasional three, which, we're trying to get better, but we're struggling a little. So it's, we have to push the pace and try to get a quick shot in transition and, go from there. So sometimes it works and sometimes it's not. Like the last couple of games right here, we have found, since that Stewart's Creek game, we have found ourselves in a dilemma where, we talk about it and we can't find the hole right now,
Yeah.
And it's just one of those situations where we just got to keep coming to practice, keep grinding, try to find ways to score in different capacities. So, hopefully.
And you're playing in one of the biggest, probably one of the best girls districts around in Tennessee.
Oh, my God.
And had to battle Wilson Central last night. And Tuesday you have Cookeville.
Right.
So
I know, an hour and a half trip to play a district opponent in Cookeville. It's unbelievable. You got Cookeville, you got Lebanon. I would put those two teams up against anybody. And Stewart's Creek beat Cookeville.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'd put those two teams, those three teams up against anybody in the state right now. They're senior loaded, senior led, going, and our girls are, freshmen and sophomores for the most part, going up against, these seniors. So it's a tough challenge. It's a good challenge. And if they just stay resilient, they can learn from it. And I think the future will be bright for us if we could just stay resilient as far as that's concerned.
Lonnie Drayton, our guest here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, Smyrna head coach. And Lonnie, let's talk about that. You are very young. I looked at your roster, freshman, sophomore, loaded. You had, I think, one senior starter in the game, and she's a valuable asset in the game because she's super quick. But that does make 10 for the future to look pretty good if you can keep everybody together and keep everybody healthy.
That's right. And that's what we're excited about that. We're excited. I mean, I know the zoning is changing next year. I don't think we lose any of our girls. But, I've already had some parents contact me that are living in our zone, going to other schools that are excited about, coming over and working with us. So it tells me that, we're doing the right thing as far as, how we're operating, how we're managing, people. I had a dad the other day, a man I've never met. We were at Lebanon playing, and we took a thumping. I mean, they played hard to the end, but we got beat pretty bad. And this man came up to me, and, in front of all of our girls, and even the Lebanon girls were there. I guess he was a booster on Lebanon's team or a fan. And he says, I love how hard y'all work, and I love how encouraging, your coaching staff is to these girls, even when it's not going how it should, how you want it to. We stay, encouraging and passionate about it. And, it was really cool to see that. That's a top team, and, their fans are even noticing how hard our girls are working and how passionate they are. So,
yeah, again, I say those little things show up. You've got a girl, James, I think the last name.
Oh, yeah, Micaiah.
Yeah, she's something special, and she's probably the tallest player you've got on your team.
Yeah,
but she can move. She can handle the basketball and gets it down the floor.
Yeah, and Micaiah is she is the sweetest. Like I have to tell her to speak up. I guess I'm getting old at 47, but she never ever raised her voice. We're working last night. We're working on when it's not going good for you, how your face, what your body language looks like. So first thing after the game, she walked up to me last night and said, "How did I do? How did my body language look, Coach?" And I said, that's the Micaiah I love right there.
Yeah,
that's the girl that I love. So
that's something special.
Yeah, she's 14 years old, so she's going to be a player.
Yeah, she really is. That's what I saw the other night. And guard plays better. I mean, okay, I can brag about how well you look, but I know you want to get shooting better and get some more points on the board because that's been the problem.
It is a huge problem. So, I mean, if you got any words for me on how we can get it done, call me after the show. I'm listening to everything. I've tried home remedies, Epsom salt. I've been told all kind of stuff. So,
a little more height would help, Lonnie. A little more height would help too. It would. I want to talk to you a minute about another sport that you're involved in. I always do this about this time of year. I've got about a minute or two with you. Softball. I know you guys are. I'm hearing that you guys are really, really good.
Yeah, I think we will be. I think we're younger than we have been. We lost 7 seniors, but we had a couple kids transfer in, seniors. The young ones that were sitting behind. The 7 seniors that we graduated, 6 of them are playing college ball.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they got to sit and learn from those kids. So now it's their opportunity as sophomores and juniors, and these kids are hungry. They're working, and we're led by, I think the best player in Middle Tennessee, Desi Novo.
Mm-hmm.
All around, there's not a better kid and a better player that works like she does, and leads like she does. So I think early on we may struggle. I don't think we will, but how I want us, but. I think by the time May hits, people could be nervous about it.
Well,
they could be that good.
We're looking forward to that, Lonnie. I'm going to let you go because I know you got a boy that's playing ball right now and probably putting up some points. So I'm going to let you
he just did.
Go. Yeah, where you can go brag a little bit. All right, thank you, Lonnie.
Hey, thanks.
Back, we're going to be talking. I think Laverne coming up. No, Blackman. Sorry.
For 150 years, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee has been helping local businesses with their banking needs. Hi, this is Justin Burris, commercial banker at the 1708 Gateway Boulevard office. Let us show you how easy it is to do business with a true community bank. Local people making local decisions for our friends and neighbors like you.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces. Online at mullinsjewelry.com. Joining me here for the Blackman Blaze, representing the Blaze, is Coach Brad Martin. And Brad, we've never gotten to have a talk on this, but we've talked a lot.
Yes,
but
sir.
we're just not in this kind of situation,
That
have
is
we?
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, many times.
And known your family for years, and you got a wife that works pretty hard, I know, so that's part of it. And
yes, sir.
so she's a hard worker.
She definitely is.
And but I want to talk a little basketball. Coach Grandstaff last night, that was a big win, I thought, the 63-42 win over Oakland. And tell me a little bit about it. Now, I mentioned on the air that the Blackman girls historically have been slow starters when it comes to the first of the game.
Okay.
And they kind of feel each other out here, and then,
yes, sir.
but then boom, they put it on it.
Right.
They were pretty solid all night, though. There really wasn't a true lapse. And Oakland's a really good ball team, and that's a tough team, and win by 20, and had a lead of about 12 points all night long, really.
I think so. We prepared really well.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good walkthrough. The kids were locked in, so when you have a good walkthrough and a good warm up, you usually get off to a good start. So we did get off to that good start last night.
Your last three games, you won 73-22 over Siegel, 64-45 over Riverdale, and now this win against Oakland. This is a good time to be playing well because you want to do it because district tournaments coming up and region, and this is the time to be playing well.
Yes, sir, it is. Just making sure our kids are just focused is a big deal, and getting them in practice and knowing their assignments and competing in practice, which is really a big deal for us, and just getting them locked in, like we were talking about earlier, locked into every situation that we're working on in practice.
You've done boys, you've coached boys, and you've coached girls.
Yes.
There is a difference. The distractions, I think, seems to me, when I coach girls, it seems like the distractions can be little things, and you really got to keep abreast of all those things that's going on with them, right? We
have a good core assistants,
Mm-hmm.
Shelby and Corbeth, and coach, of course. They're all in tune with the kids, and we talk to them, they talk to them, and so we just try to, like I said, just keep them locked in when they walk in that gym, and make it competitive and make it fun, but yet still competitive.
You guys really do create a lot of turnovers, and that's speed and defense. That's the Blackman way, though, really. I mean, y'all have not wavered from that at all, ever.
No, sir. We're going to rebound.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play defense.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's the keys. Yes, sir.
The more shots you get at the basket, the more you're going to score, I guess is the way you look at it.
And then if we miss, we want to go get it.
Yeah.
We definitely want to go get it.
You definitely have go-getters, and you've got a couple of freshmen that are playing well for you. But actually, you've got probably eight or nine that are really contributing this year. And Herring had a good game last night. Hit a couple of big ones from outside, didn't she?
She did. She competes. She's a competitor. You'll see her. She's on the floor. She's a leader. She's just like Lyric and Trinity, our seniors. You know, they're always on the floor. They're always going with maximum effort. And so those three, you know, just have really been our leaders as far as being on the floor, getting on the floor, communication, and just maximum effort.
Well, it's pretty nice. It's a pretty good thing to have a 6'3" girl come in off the bench. Corey put up some good points and good minutes last night.
She was really, really good. She's crashing the boards and doing her job defensively.
Tell me about Hall now, because I know she's a scorer.
Yes,
but
sir.
she's also, I saw her zip a couple of passes that I really couldn't believe that she could thread the needle and get them in there inside that interior passing she did.
She's got good vision. She's got really good vision.
She could probably be a guard. She could bring the ball down the floor.
She
probably.
can play both ways.
Yeah.
Yes, she can play multiple positions.
Yeah.
But she can handle that ball. You know, she's good off the dribble, and just her head is up, so she's got good vision.
Now she's playing the 5 or basically.
She can play the 4.
Yeah.
She can play the 3.
I mean, she doesn't look your typical. Why I'm saying that, yeah,
she's very versatile. So
yeah.
She can play just about anywhere.
It all starts with Lyric, though, doesn't it?
But it starts with Lyric.
Yeah.
Lyric.
And you can tell she's in charge of that bunch.
She's our leader.
Yeah.
She's really matured, grown into that role.
Yeah.
She is really, really leading our team.
What makes you guys, to me, so successful? The year before, you've had Flowers.
Yes, sir.
She was the leader. She was definitely the leader. You could tell when she walked on the floor. Now it's Lyric. Lyric worked with her, so she knows the floor. Now, but I don't know that I know of a point guard that can get 20 rebounds like she did last night. Now, I don't know. You say you're the number man. You tell me how many rebounds that she had, because I thought it was 20 or something like that.
If it was, I'm not for sure. I haven't seen the stats, the final stats, but we just really preach crash the boards, but on defense, everyone blocks out.
Yeah,
you have to block out and then attack the ball, go get it.
It's wonderful to have like Coach Grandstaff with so much experience. I say that in a nice way. But the experience that she's had, and it just must come second nature to her now. You know, we were talking about she and Barry are the dean of coaches right now, and both at the same school.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah,
she just really works at her craft constantly. She is constantly working at her craft. How can we make our team better? She studies the game. We talk about it constantly as a staff. How can we put our kids in the best position to be successful?
The tournament is coming up, but we've got 2 more games. One against Rockville, a really good Rockville team.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be there, so I know the crowd's going to be, anti-Blackman.
It's going to be a great atmosphere.
And then you finish up Siegel at home. I want to start with Rockville first. They probably have, aside from Oakland, the best matchups, I guess, you would say, with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Is that true? Would that be fair to say?
Yes, it is a good matchup.
Yeah.
So the game will be physical, fast-paced.
Yeah.
So
that's the way they like to play too.
That's the way they like to play. So it's gonna be a really good game over there on Tuesday night.
When you think of a game like that that's close, you worry about fouls, getting in foul trouble, or something weird happening, because they're very streaky too. They can hit, they can shoot.
Right. Well, we're lucky. We can play some kids off our bench. Mariah, like you mentioned
Chisholm
earlier, and Trinity, she starts, and then she Mariah and her kind of rotate a little bit. And Carrington can come in, and Madison can come in, and then we can bring in Destiny too. So
yeah, well,
we do have some ability to, if we were to get into a little foul issue, to rotate some kids that have played.
Jennifer's always done a good job of getting other people in and finding roles. You do that mainly to me in the preseason and the regular season. Non-district schedule. I mean,
right.
she plays a lot of people in the beginning, doesn't she?
That's how they'll be ready for that situation when it arises. Yeah. When it comes to the end of the season in our tournament play.
let's talk a little bit. I guess I don't want to get too far ahead because it's one game at a time. I understand that.
That's us.
Yeah, and but the district tournament, those are always crazy. You never know. Somebody slips up and has this great game and whatever. And it's happened to her. I know when she was at Oakland, she's had teams that have beat teams that maybe she wasn't supposed to.
Right.
And now she's kind of the hunted. Instead of she's not hunting, she's the hunted. And that makes a difference about how you approach those games, isn't it?
Well, we just, like we were talking earlier, we just really try to get our kids focused on that opponent and their strengths. And we'll work on, some of our issues and correct those. But that's how we prepare. We're just try to really put our kids in those situations to be successful.
You really worry about Blackman, don't you? I mean, really. I mean, that's what the thing is. You got to worry about Blackman and not necessarily the other guy.
We try to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And just improve every day.
Well, I've got you 19-2. I've got you 6-0 in the district.
Okay.
So, you're really in a great position. What do you tell your girls now coming in? You're going to be going in that district tournament. You've got 2 more games left. I know that's what you're going to concentrate on, but it's going to be tough for somebody to overtake you. But you're going to look at this as what are some of the things you can say about Rockville, like to get them focused on them?
Our word it's kind of funny. Coach said it one day in practice. Buzzsaw.
Yeah.
Buzzsaw's coming.
Yeah.
You have to be ready.
Yeah.
You have to be ready. And so we're constantly preaching to our kids any night.
Yeah.
You just have to be prepared. You have to be ready. And you have to be locked in.
They're a good bunch of girls, aren't they?
They really are. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're a fun bunch.
The way they practice, and I mean everything.
They've really learned how to compete in practice. That's been a big deal for us, is the competition in our practices, and it just prepares us for the game that night.
Well, Brad, good luck the rest of the way. I know Rockville's a tough one, so don't look too far ahead of that one. And was that Tuesday?
Yes, sir. That is Tuesday at Rockville.
Okay.
And then senior night was Seagull on Friday.
We may be going out there. I'm not sure exactly, but anyway, I do it like that, one day at a time,
yes,
one game at a time.
One game at a time.
That's the way I work
it. Yes, sir.
Coach Brad Martin's been our guest, assistant coach at Blackman High School, and we're going to take a break, and we'll come back. We're going to be talking to Laverne. I really think it is Laverne this time. This portion of the show brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We'll be right back.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't, because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to be positioned for the long term. We provide the tools for a disciplined approach to investing. Call 615-907-7056 for an opportunity to discuss your situation. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. John Ding is back with you here on the show with Coach Steve Carter, the head coach of the Laverne Lady Wolverines. Coach, how are you this morning?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Had a game against Stewart's Creek last night. I think every game y'all play is a rivalry with somebody, it seems like. But how'd the girls go? I think they played pretty well. They lost, but I think that was a pretty good game.
Yes, sir. Came out playing well early on. Then we let the pressure get to us and had some uncostly turnovers. Senior night for Stewart's Creek last night, so they had a big crowd, a lot of energy from them. Kind of went back and forth early on, then we dug ourselves in a hole, cut it down to about 15 late in the game, and the Ward girl hit a big three and just kind of couldn't really respond after that. But played till the end. Tough week this week with the schedule that we had, going to Cookeville on Tuesday night and then playing Stewart's Creek on Friday night. So don't have a lot of easy weeks in this district.
You know, your district is one that is a little bit unique, but I think we get spoiled here in Rutherford County in terms of the other district because we're like 3 or 4 miles away from each other. But you guys do have to contend with travel, and Cookeville is a long haul.
Yes, it is. And talking to their coach the other night, with the realignment that they have, their drives are even getting longer for next year. So they're in a tough spot. We're definitely excited about the realignment for next year to where we're a little bit closer to home. But last couple of years has definitely been a challenge, but the competition within the district has been good for us if you want to try to advance when it gets to playoff time.
And this district's really, your district's really tough. I mean, Cookeville, Lebanon, Stewart's Creek, probably the top 3 of the top teams in the top 20 in the state night after night. But I do know it's got to be a good experience for you. I know the wins and losses are not what you want, but I see improvement. I was talking to Lonnie about the Smyrna team. His team's improved, and you had a big win over them the other night. It comes down, though, I think sometimes with teams that do not have the experience of maybe others, is shooting is an issue sometimes. I mean, the ball won't go in the basket.
Yes, sir, that's one of the biggest parts of the game. We against a very good Stewart's Creek team last night, we scored in the 40s, so we had a really good night offensively, but they just hit more shots, and the pressure got to us early on, and some key rebounds that we lost early on, and the free throw line continues to bother us a lot. So that's something we still got to work on, but that's something they've got to do. Like I told them the other day, pre-practice, post-practice, staying after, getting shots up in the morning, before school, things like that. Those are things that they got to do. They got to be a gym rat if they want to fix those small things.
Coach, when you're trying to build the program and you've got games that such a tough district, free throws are huge and those kind of things. I think you said probably the most important thing that I've heard in a while. You have to be gym rats. I mean, that's what you have to do.
Yes, sir. In the off season, they've got to play. Whether it's getting an AAU circuit, which I think is very important for kids this day and age, because the atmosphere there is sometimes chaotic, and it helps. When you go into these big rivalry games where you're used to playing in those tough atmospheres. We played Independence the last couple of years. That's a really good place to play. Kind of get you ready for those big rivalry games. But they've got to get in the gym, and they've got to get out. When it's springtime, summertime, they need to go to the park. I try to tell my girls all the time, go to the park, play with guys. It's going to get you better, and that's what we try to do sometimes. Coach Rutland and myself have a really good working relationship. He'll send some of his freshman JV guys down to make the girls better with working with us. So I think that's one of the key components too. Get some really good competition in there for them to get better.
Steve, where do you think the girls are at this point? Because I see improvement every year, and sometimes it's the little things like pressure, handling pressure. Is that better? Has that gotten better? And I know shooting sometimes, but it just takes so much time to get them to a point. But there's definitely some improvement in all your teams the last couple of years.
Yeah, on the court, absolutely. I take this back. I say this just about every time I'm on here. The two seniors that I have, Trinity Ryan, Jada Starnes, there's 12 seconds left last night. They're pressuring in the back court. We was not playing full man at the time, I don't believe, and they're pressuring in the back court. We're down by 17. I mean, the game's over. But
right.
we stress all the time that the game's not over till the final horn. And that's two seniors that just lead the right way. So as soon as that horn sounds, we're lined up to shake hands. I grab those two and tell them that's what senior leadership looks like. So the fight that these girls have continued to show over these last 3 years, because the wins are not there, definitely for me, and not like I told them, I want it for them. It's not about wins and losses for me. Not even sure what my records are, but I want it for them to be successful, for people to show the growth that they've had. But off the court is where I've really been proud of them. The classroom, former players that are now going to college and looking for chances to play, them coming back over the summer, wanting to be a part of the program as we move forward. So those are some of the big things that I've taken that I've been excited for in regards to growing this program in the right way.
You bring up something there about going on and getting degrees and going on and getting good jobs and the way they handle themselves outside the court. We always seem to throw everything on like the athletic part of it, but really when it all comes down to it, very few get to have a great college career or a great NBA career or whatever. It really is. This is part of their high school, and this may be the biggest thing in their life. And to be able to carry that with them from the experiences they have, those two seniors you've got right there, that's just got to be an amazing thing. I think people overlook that sometimes. We tend to look at, well, where's the program at? But really, we're here to educate and help people.
Yeah, at the end of the year, with every sport, there's one team that comes out on top. Tomorrow, you got one team that's going to win the Super Bowl. The other team, will be forgotten within the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So the biggest joy that I get from coaching is having the players that have come back. Whether it was my years at Laverne Middle School that I coached baseball for a few years, or at Laverne High School where I had to coach track for a few years where we were short-staffed. For those kids to come back and talk about some of the things that they learned and now they're using with their as they're raising their own children, that's one of the greatest compliments as a coach that you could hear. So trying to do things the right way and lead them on the court, off the court. I love that part of coaching. Coaching is teaching to me, so I got to keep that same mentality upstairs in the gym when I'm teaching PE. So it's a joy, and I think that's what helps motivate me throughout to do this every day, and is getting those compliments when the kids come back and talk about those life lessons that they've learned.
Okay, we've got Wilson Central and Smyrna again coming up, and I know you guys take it one at a time. Wilson Central, tell us a little bit about them, what you're expecting from them, and then we'll talk about Smyrna for a minute or two here as well.
Well, against Wilson Central, when we played them a couple weeks ago, we lost by 3. We shot 33% from the free throw line and got beat on the boards quite handily there. So it's a game that we was in the position to win. So I like where we're at going into that game. They shoot the ball really well, athletic. They're still relatively young, kind of like we are. But got 2 home games this week. That's good, so we can stay close to home. And then of course the excitement with the boys too. So we're hoping to pack the gym for both Wilson Central and Smyrna on Friday night. Smyrna's always fun. Going against Lonnie, my childhood, somebody who I still consider my best friend. We can go, a few years without talking, a few months without talking, but one of the best guys that I've ever known. So that's always fun. And this time they're coming to our house.
And that game, like I think if I recall, I think it was 16-13. Then Smyrna had difficulty scoring, and probably some of that credit goes to your defense. But what you don't want, and last question here, you don't want to get into a scoring drought as well, because that's kind of plagued you guys as well.
Yes, sir. And we just have to do a better job really getting out in transition. Last night against Stewart's Creek, when we pushed the ball, we had some positive results, but sometimes we just slow it down too much, and that's not the style that I like to play. I'd rather push the tempo, and then once we see we don't have the numbers, we back it out. But, Lonnie will have his girls prepared on Friday night, as he always does. He's got some really athletic, talented girls over there, and he's got a freshman that's got a chance to be really special over there, along with some of his seniors as well. So it's always a fun night. Hopefully it's a good atmosphere, and look forward to the challenge.
Well, Steve, good luck the rest of the way. I know the district, I think it's going to be in Lebanon, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we'll try to catch a few of those games as well, and good luck the rest of the way, and good luck in the tournament.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate what y'all do.
All right. That's Coach Steve Carter, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. When we come back, we're talking Lady Patriot basketball here. This portion of the show is brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency, where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
Here's your Little Caesar slices and sticks, half Italian cheese sticks, half pepperoni pizza. It's the world's greatest combination.
Carl? How could you? Sorry, PB&J. I wanted to try new things. No! Try some for yourself.
Yes. No! Get hot and ready slices and sticks for $6.99. Walk in and walk out between 4 and 8 p.m.
Little Caesars Pizza is a proud supporter of all Rutherford County High School athletes. Be sure to visit your Murfreesboro Little Caesars today.
Pizza. You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Participating in Murfreesboro's special census could help bring more funding to our city. $175 per resident per year. Here's Murfreesboro Mayor Shane McFarland.
Those dollars shared with us will greatly benefit our community, build roads, maintain parks, improve public safety, and much more.
It's fast and easy. Complete the form online at murfreesborocensus.com.
Count me in.
Okay, count me in.
And count me in too.
Let's make sure every resident counts. Visit murfreesborocensus.com.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. John Dinkins back with you here on the Coach's Corner. My last interview of the day. And, well, it's special. Scott Thomas is here, Oakland Patriots. And, Coach, I'm going to ask you a question. First of all, you had to play Blackman last night.
Yes, sir.
And you had to play your former lady you used to work with. And so how is that? How's that feeling? I guess it's just like kind of old home week, isn't it?
It's always fun. You know, me and Coach, we talk, you know, every week. And, you know, leading up to that game, you know, we talk and, you know, called her last night after the game and talked to her. And, you know, I knew it was going to be a battle. You know, it is anytime you play her and her team. And, you know, talking to her earlier in the week, you know, she felt like they didn't play as good as they should have against Riverdale. So, from my experience with coaching with her, anytime her teams don't play well or as well as she thinks they should, then you know that the next game that they're coming out, they're going to be fired up.
Did you tell her she didn't have to do it against you though?
Yeah, I tried to tell her. I wish they would have had an off night, you know, against us last night. But.
Well, you've had a great couple of weeks here though. You had a win over Siegel and one over Riverdale and I'm sorry, excuse me. Over Rockville, 62-56 in a great game, and then one over Siegel, and then this the loss last night. But 4-3, you're right where you need to be. I know you just want to get as far and get as many district wins as you can.
Yeah, you know, our one of our goals, you know, at the start of district play was to finish in one of those top 3 spots, and you know, I think our girls are really. I feel like we're getting a lot better. You know, last night, one of the things that, you know, disappointed me a little bit, and I told him after the game is, you know, I thought at times during the game that Blackman just played harder than we did, you know, especially on the boards. And so that was a little disappointing. So definitely something that we got to work on. But I really believe the toughness of our schedule is starting to pay off here late.
You've got several girls that have been with us. I feel like Cox has been here with us for years and years, and what a wonderful girl. I mean, I've had an opportunity to talk to her. A very mature, good leader, isn't she?
She's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna miss her next year. Just her, she's not the most vocal leadership wise, but I mean, she does everything you ask her to do. You know, always plays her hardest, and you know, I've said it before, but I think she's one of the ones that's really come along and you know, is a big part of our success here lately.
Very articulate too, by the way. But and then you're playing some freshmen. You're playing young too, and Wisniewski had a great game. I hope that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Cadence. had 5 threes in the game against Riverdale, I believe. And, boy, I mean, when she's on, she is on. Now, they did a good job of cutting her off last night.
Yeah, you know, every team that we play from here on out is going to scout her, and, you know, everybody's aware that she can get hot at any time. So, you know, we're trying to, you know, preach to her and coach to her too that, you know, she's going to have to create more shots than just the three. And, you know, so we've
and she is capable of doing that.
Oh,
too.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. You know, as coaches, that's our job to put her in a position to, you know, not just rely on her three ball. You know, she's got to be able to create other ways too.
It's interesting to watch. Both you and Blackman are pretty young for the most part. You're playing freshman. Mullen had 17 last night, and she had a kind of a rough portion there where the three wasn't falling for her.
Right.
But she's also one that tries to create some shots. But I think you'd love to see her do that a little bit more of create her own shots as well.
Yeah, you know, she's kind of the same as Cadence. You know, she relies a lot too on the three ball, and, you know, we've really been trying to get her to be, you know, more aggressive attacking the goal. And I think in spurts she does that. You know, but that's just a part of her game that she's got to continue to develop. And, you know, just I think her getting in the weight room in the off season is really going to help her just to get stronger with the ball and, you know, just get better at her ball handling and some little things like that.
I guess when I look at Oakland, I see a blend of youth, some experience, not a lot, but some, and Cadence is, and Laura is, but rest of them are kind of, and your bench is kind of young, but the schedule you played, I know, really helped those youngsters and the people that you've got coming off the bench too.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You know, Kyla Joy is another senior that you can throw in there too.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot her.
Yeah, with the
her mother will get mad at me for that.
She's been a little banged up, so she's been coming off the bench the past few games just with her shoulder. But she's another, you know, good leader on our team, and, you know, feel like the girls really flow off of her energy, especially on defense. But yeah, you know, we bring Dariana Boney off the bench. She's a freshman. Callie Lowe comes in and runs the point some for her. She's a sophomore. You know, then you got McKenya Seibert, who's a junior that is playing really well also.
I failed to mention her, but and I think of Kyla when I see her run down the floor. Probably one of the fastest players that you'll ever see on the floor.
Oh, I mean, she's like a deer running up and down the court.
It's a beautiful thing to watch, and she's got a little track career going on too, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. She signed a scholarship to go to Tennessee Tech. So,
tell me a little bit about the Rockville game. You won that 62-56, and Rockville matches up with you pretty well. I mean, they're similar, and but boy, they can be really, really tough.
Yeah, they got a great team. You know, Jade and Amaya, and, you know, they play 7, 8, 9 kids that all come in and contribute really well. And, you know, leading up to that game, we had a really good practice the day before. You know, had the best walkthrough we've had all year long the day of the game. And, you know, just going in, I felt like our girls were just, you know, I almost felt like we were going to win before we even played it, just how we prepared and approached it. And, you know, came out, played really well, shot the ball well, got up 20 in the third quarter. And, you know, give credit to Rockville. They fought all the way back and cut it to 4 or 6, I think, late in the fourth quarter. And, you know, luckily we hit some foul shots there late to kind of seal it.
When you're rolling like that and you've got a 20-point lead and everything seems to be falling in, do you ever question, like, what did I do differently, or why doesn't that happen all the time?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just it's part of the game.
Yeah.
You know, there's games where it's like you can't miss, and then you go through games kind of like I felt in the first half with us last night. It felt like we couldn't hardly make a shot. So I think that's just the game of basketball.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you're
Do
on.
you sense it though? Like you said, you kind of felt like at the against Rockville. Do you as a coach, do you sense it when you kind of feel it like even in warm up?
I think you kind of start to feel it early in the game.
Yeah.
When those shots are falling in the first quarter, it kind of gives you a little sense of relief, and I'm sure it's the same with every kid, but the early shots you take when you see those goes in, I think that gives them more confidence throughout the game too. Yeah.
Scott Thomas, our guest here on the Apprentice Allsup Heating Air Coach's Corner. You got 2 coming up now. It's almost like a repeat of the week before. Rockville at Rockville, that place is going to be hopping, I'm sure, to see you guys arrive.
Well, we got. We're done with Rockville.
Oh,
we played them twice.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one.
Riverdale at home Tuesday, yeah. And then we've got a makeup game Monday against Mount Juliet at Mount Juliet. And then we got Riverdale coming in Tuesday. And then we got our senior night Friday against Green Hill.
Riverdale is a team that's improved too. I mean,
that they're number 10. I can't think of her name, but she had a really good game against us last time, and she's a heck of an athlete and does a great job creating offense for them. And we expect them to come in ready to play.
Yeah.
I know we got one at their place last time, so any district game, you got to be ready to play, and hopefully we can find some stuff that is going to help us going into the tournament.
And the tournament is just around the corner, really. And and even your Coach Grandstaff has come through with some big upsets in those district tournaments. Teams where when she was at Oakland and said, and Jessica kind of followed that pattern. Mm-hmm. What is it about you guys in district tournaments? Y'all are just a tough out.
I don't know. I guess you got to give credit to the kids.
Yeah.
I think it's just a time where they, realize that, this is it, and credit, really any team I've coached at Oakland has always, never backed down from a challenge and always been ready to play.
You all have a great student support and at games. I always see Coach Blizzard there, and but I also see John Marshall there a lot. I mean, he is a really big. He loves basketball too.
Oh yeah, I can't brag enough about the support our admin gives, and you mentioned Miss Blizzard and Miss Wilson's always at the games too, and they even travel with us, and Miss Wilson has done us a huge favor in driving us, on the bus to a lot of our away games. So, the support has been great.
Well, I'm good luck this week, and I know senior night is going to be tough to say bye to a few of them. I'm sure. We got 6 seniors, and we got 1 manager that's a senior, so we got 7 total. And I think it's going to be probably going to be an emotional night. Yeah. All right, well, good luck to you. District tournament coming up.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Scott Thomas, head coach of the Lady Patriots of Oakland. This portion of the show is brought to you by iDiz Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at idiztees.com.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Blue Raiders fans' source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. Located at 910 Ridgely Road, behind Chewy's, just off Broad Street.
Time to get out in the cold in style with officially licensed Middle Tennessee stocking caps, coats, jackets, sweats, scarves, and more. If it's blue and white with the Middle Tennessee logo, you can bet the best selection in town is at Raider Tees.
Raider Tees by Ideas Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, off Broad between Chewy's and Chili's.
Pizza, pizza.
You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carryout or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We are back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor. Say that 3 times fast. Serving Middle Tennessee, that's Dan France Concrete. And let's talk some Stewart's Creek Lady Red Hawk hoops this morning. The head coach, Sloan Starkey, joining us here today. And, Coach, you're in a gym or headed to a gym somewhere anyway right now, aren't you?
Just left the gym. Yes, sir. How are you this morning, Brian?
Hey, doing great. Always good to catch up with you. This time of the year, there's no rest for the weary in terms of being in a gym somewhere all the time.
That's right. Yep. Riverdale's hosting a JV little district tournament, so our JV girls just took the first win, and we'll be back to the gym in a few hours to go to the next round.
Well, that's it. JV is very important. It's the future of your basketball program, and I've been talking to some of the coaches this morning about, you have to. I think coaches are a part of a group that like to have their hand in everything, but you just physically can't do that. So you have to rely on a lot of good folks to surround you to work a program right.
That's right. Yeah, we got phenomenal assistant coaches. My wife, Coach Bear, is what we call her. She's incredible. She keeps me in line, keeps in check with the girls. And then Coach Haley is our head coach for the JV girls. Again, doing a phenomenal job. Just had a big victory over Lebanon. And then Coach C she's also just top notch. Played all 4 years at MTSU. She comes from Siegel High Schools in their Hall of Fame, and she knows the game really, really well. And so, yeah, you got to have a good village to raise up these girls.
Most certainly. Well, the Lady Redhawks have been on a tear of late, winners of 7 in a row. And, I remember us having some conversation, and you had that tough stretch, with Green Hill, Blackman, and then Lebanon around mid-January or so. And since then, you have kind of really turned it up a notch. What's the secret here?
Man, we just, it's a roller coaster of a season. There's ups and there's downs, and right now we seem to be at the top of the roller coaster. And we just hope that we can stay up top, and if we do come back down, just don't go down too far. But, yeah, the girls are just playing extremely well with each other. We have an unselfish team, and they move the ball really, really well. And they did that last night against Laverne. Laverne runs a pretty tough zone that rotates pretty good, and so watching the girls to be unselfish and move the ball it's been awesome.
Well, in last night's game, Holt poured in 17 for you, and you had 3 more with double figures, right?
Yeah, we shot the ball very well. Derry deserves everything she gets. She's worked really hard from last year. Last year was a tough year for her. She couldn't quite catch a rhythm. Probably didn't get as much playing time as she wanted last year. And so coming in as a senior and understanding the expectations are much higher, the requirements are much higher. She stepped up in a huge way this year. She was a little cold against Smyrna last Smyrna last Friday. No, in her last game she was cold. I don't remember when that was. But to see her go crazy last night and hit 3 or 4 threes, that was awesome. So she deserves it.
Yeah, that Smyrna game was the 26th or 28th, and we were there. And that game for you, I could feel your frustration even upstairs. Sometimes teams do that. Opponents do that. It's a rival game. I get all that. Smyrna played maybe the best game that I've seen them play in a long time, and it was kind of the perfect storm, and you all had to figure out a way around that. And, your starters were with you for about the whole third quarter.
Yeah, thank the Lord we got a good group that can come off the bench and give us a spark, and they did exactly that. So it's always nice for a little bit of accountability, and so if the first group's just not getting the job done, that second group knows what it is, and if they go in the game, they're gonna play very well. They're gonna play very hard. That's exactly what they did against Smyrna. So,
well, after that, the next opponent was Cookeville at home, and everybody's been chasing the Lady Cavaliers. They're kind of a marked team in terms of how they have been the last few years, and I'm sure maybe there was some uncertainty of going from that Tuesday to that Friday. You must have had some really good practices because your girls came out ready to play Cookeville last Friday.
Yeah, I think we need to show some love to FZA here. As you mentioned, the Tuesday game against Smyrna was not a good game at all. Had me extremely frustrated. The girls were extremely frustrated. Even though we were victorious, we all knew we were not playing like we needed to play. And, on Wednesday, that following day after Smyrna, I honestly had no idea what I was going to tell the girls at practice on Wednesday. And then sure enough, in the Lord's timing, Shell Deal from FCA texts me and say, "Hey, are we on for our FCA meeting today?" And I said, "Oh, there it is." So thank the Lord. And Shell Deal came in to the locker room before practice, and I thought about telling her, "Hey, you're about to go into a little bit of a hornet's nest in that locker room. Things didn't go well on Tuesday night." But I chose not to say anything to her, and she came out of the locker room and said, "Lord, it was." She said, "Coach, it was the Lord moved, and it was a full-on revival in there." And we had a phenomenal practice on Wednesday. Followed it up with another really good practice on Thursday, and sure enough, those two practices is what led to us being victorious over Cookeville on Friday.
Well, Shell will make you want to run through a wall too, so that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's best, Coach, for the team to hear from somebody other than the head coach sometimes too.
That's right. Yeah, you like I said, it takes a village, and
yeah,
it doesn't matter what you preach or how you preach it. If you're hearing the same message from the same person over and over and over again, it's only so effective. So, like I said, we got phenomenal assistant coaches, and then to have organizations like FCA come in and preach the same message, the girls have no choice but to accept it as truth and hear and listen when you're hearing it from that many quality sources.
The head coach of the Stewart's Creek Lady Redhawks joining us this morning, Sloan Starkey, our guest here for the next few minutes. And just wanted to mention some other players from this past week. On Tuesday, you had a 53-31 win over Wilson Central, and Camden Ward had 14 for you to lead the way, and Izzy Hodge, Stein, I think they both had 11 or so. So you're getting constantly 3, sometimes maybe even 4 players in double figures, which is, and I guess it's good to see different kids having having those double-figure nights. It's not always the same person.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Last night, Cam only had 8. But again, that means 5 other players are in double figures for us. So we got weapons at Stewart's Creek. There's no doubt about it. And when they click and they play well and they share the ball, anybody can be a threat at any possession at any time. So it's a beautiful thing to see.
Well, you certainly have some work cut out for you. Maybe the toughest week this week coming up of the whole season, right?
I would agree. Yep. Lebanon Tuesday, Cookeville Friday, both games on the road, both games right before district tournament, last two district games of the season. No doubt about it. This is a huge week for us coming up.
Well, that begs the question, did you have senior night last night?
Friday night, senior night. Yep, last night was senior night, and we got an incredible culture. Stewart's Creek is just an awesome school to be at. The amount of hands that came in and supported and prepared just a phenomenal celebration of seniors last night. It's just special to see. As the coach, I've never been in this position where there's so much support around a team that all I had to do last night was literally coach the game. That's all I had to do. The meals were provided for. The decorations were provided for. The plaques, the awards, everything was taken care of. And all I had to do as the coach was coach the basketball game. And so we got just an awesome atmosphere at Stewart's Creek. Kerry Malone, the voice, he's our PA guy, and he does whatever he needs to do to make sure the girls are appreciated and honored in the right way. Our parents, we got 6 seniors, and these parents have been together, some of them since 6th grade. These parents have known each other and have been a part of the basketball culture, and they know, how to do things the right way. So I'm blessed, man. God has been really good to me and my wife and our family, and the move to Tennessee. And last night was one of those moments where you just sit back and be thankful, honestly.
Well, I know when you took this job, there had to be some, is this where I need to be? I'm having to move, another state, all this kind of thing. And there's no way you could have known everything that there is to be in Rutherford County and at Stewart's Creek. But I guess maybe just from judging what you've said here this morning, maybe it's exceeded your expectations?
Absolutely. I would agree. Yep.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, Lebanon.
Now we finish.
Yeah.
Now it's time to finish. Now we get into the real meat and potatoes of things, and now we really see what we're made of.
Well, I mean, this is a week where you go 2-0. You're I guess that would mean you're district champs.
Maybe. Yeah, I suppose so. If we get there, now we got to. We got to do our business in the district tournament, but yeah, 2-0 would be fantastic.
Yeah. At Lebanon, it's their senior night, then at Cookeville, and you're going to spend a lot of time in Lebanon, I think, because the district tournament's going to be there too, so you might as well get used to it.
And the region tournament.
That's true.
Will be at Lebanon.
That's right. Coach, appreciate you spending some time. Congrats on the 7-0 run you're on right now. Let's make it 9-0. That'll be fun.
Let's go.
All right, man.
Yes, sir. 9-0. Here we go.
Sounds good. That's Sloan Starkey joining us here on the Coaches Show this morning. Stewart's Creek Lady Redhawks head coach on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites. Wings, too. Warrior Drive, locally operated by Anne-Marie Brentz and the Lanning family. We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, where, of course, they've got barbecue and smoked chicken, ribs, but they have other favorites.
Our chicken tenders are delicious. We bread them here ourselves. We have so many different kinds of sides, and our nachos are really good and popular. I love the menu. I could literally eat here every day.
Anne-Marie Brentz at Rick's Barbecue.
We're thankful for the customers. We have a lot of regulars, loyal customers that come in, and when they come in, I already know their order.
Bet you're hungry now. We'll see you at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Your ride, your stuff. You live with them together. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wommel. It's smart to protect them together, to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me help you save by combining your auto and renters.
With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton. Give me a call at 615-895-2700 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
Hey there, it's Brian. I wanted to share one of the reasons why I love First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. They really show up for their customers. I see it firsthand, and I know you'll see and feel the difference. I know I can count on real, personalized service. When I've got a question, I don't get passed off to a machine. I get a real person who's ready to help. They always show up for me, and I know they will for you too.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com. Time for us to talk about the Lady Rockets of Rockvale. The head coach, Perry Lyons, joins us this morning. Coach, how are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Are you in a gym, going to a gym right now? I know it's usually Saturdays are pretty busy, and, well, every day is busy during basketball season.
Yes, sir. I'm actually, no, we're in Knoxville with my older daughter. She signed with Johnson University, and they have a official visit up here today, and so we're out here at the softball field.
Oh, how about that? Yeah, it's that season too. This is the first year, I guess, you've had to juggle both. How is that going for you?
It's going really well. To be honest, you have to lean on your assistants. I have Coach Joe McHenry and Brooklyn Ott. They're running the softball right now. From what I'm hearing good things about it. So,
well, good.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that you have some awesome basketball assistants as well. I really enjoyed a few weeks ago having the chance to talk with them. They're a hoot, and they are Perry Lyons fans. Let me tell you.
Well, I tell you what, you're only as good as your assistants, and I feel like we have some great assistants. They do great with the girls. Really love having them be a part of the staff.
Well, I think the mentality of people who are cut out of the similar cloth, like a coach or like me, radio person, you want to try to do everything yourself, and you just can't do that at the level that you need to, and that's why you got to have good people around you, huh?
Yeah, when I was younger, I tried to do everything about myself, and you just can't. Like you said, you have to have good help, and you have to delegate, and you have to have people that you can trust. And with both staff, I have people that I can trust, people that know what we're trying to do and how hard we have to work. And like I said, on both softball and the basketball staffs, they're doing an excellent job with the kids.
Well, let's talk about some of your recent games. I have your record at 17-8 and 4-2 in district play. I think that's pretty close. Last night, big win over Siegel, 73-25. And when you are scoring in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you're getting a lot of offensive production. So maybe talk a little bit about a few of the girls who have been playing well for you.
Yeah, we everyone, it's not a secret. We like to press. We like to trap. We like to run. And it's a lot of fun for the fans. It's fun for the girls. So we had a couple of girls that got out and ran pretty good last night. Jade Watson, I thought played phenomenal last night. She let the game come to her rather than trying to force it. You know, she's young. Sometimes she forces things. Last night I thought she did a good job of that. Amaya Nash also joined in, was a double-digit scorer. She was able to get downhill and get to the basket. We're good when we get paint touches. I don't like to shoot a lot of threes, but I tell them to shoot threes, but don't rely on it. So when we get paint touches and get into the paint, we're really tough.
It's a much more high percentage shot when you can shoot a shot in the paint 4 or 5 feet away from the basket versus a three-pointer, isn't it?
And kids, you know, everybody's in love with the three-point. I get it, and it's okay within the game, and you got a rhythm going, and you get your feet set. You know, there's things to it instead of just, you know, chunking it up there. You got to be ready. And we talked about that at halftime. Let's get our feet set. Look to get some transition threes, but we don't want to live by a three. So I thought they did a good job of that last night of getting both, you know, three-pointers, mid-range, and to the rim. You got to get all three phases, you know, to win a game.
Yeah, I was talking about this last night. For instance, I mean, the best shooting teams are going to shoot, 35% from the three-point line. And, you know, I was telling John during the broadcast last night there was a foul on a three-pointer, and the three didn't go in. And so you're fouling on a shot that's maybe 33% versus putting somebody at the free throw line for 3 free throws where you maybe shoot 70-80%. And
that's correct.
And that has to be one of the most frustrating things as a coach when that happens.
It is. We always tell our kids to work inside out, meaning going through Kyler Crawford or Janai Nelson, whoever's in the post at that time, Aiden Wilkerson. You know, we put them all in the post. But we want to work inside out, and then once we get the ball in, establish that, then maybe, you know, go outside. But that kind of hurt us the night we played Oakland. I think we shot 27% on the field, and we chunked up too many threes. That's what I saw on film.
Yeah, when you put it all together, that can be the case. Well, that's the next game I wanted to talk a little bit to you about. You've had some real battles with Oakland. We did the game that was at Oakland, and you had to battle and pulled out a nice road victory there. But I said during that broadcast that these two are going to be locking horns quite a bit this year, and it turns out that they got you at your place.
Well, here's the deal. It doesn't matter who it is, Oakland, Riverdale, Siegel. When you play in our district, everyone can beat anyone, and that's just the way it is. Rutherford County, Murfreesboro schools, they're highly competitive. You have to respect every opponent, and anyone on any night can win. So, yeah, they did a great job. So we tell our kids move on to the next one.
Well, Jade had a really good game in that Oakland game. She had 24 points in that one. But Jade is kind of the I guess she's kind of the one that you need to be consistently in double figures, don't you?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. We got 4 or 5 girls that can score. Jade's growing up a lot. She's starting to accept tough coaching, and I think she's starting to turn the corner. And when the tournament starts, I think she's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, she has played well, and just the growth from seeing her earlier in the season to in the last few weeks, it's like a totally different player.
And people got to remember, it's a sophomore you're talking about.
Yeah.
And maturity mentally kicking in. In practice, I'm starting to see some maturity kick in. As compared to, when she was a freshman. And she doesn't have to feel like it's always on her shoulders. She got, a senior with Aiden Wilkerson that can score. You got Cadence Thomas that can score, Amaya Nash, Tyler Crawford. We got a lot of kids that can score. So any given night, it just depends on what night it is. Any 5 or 6 of those kids can score. Yeah,
Raymond had double figures for you in the went over Riverdale as well. So you're getting the offensive production there, and this is an interesting week for you because really your seeding is still kind of up in the air because you've got Blackman and Riverdale still left.
Man, we have a tough week coming up with Blackman and Riverdale. Like I said, I respect both teams. Very well coached. They both get after it. One thing I was proud about our team last night is that we stayed out of foul trouble. We learned how to play defense without getting in foul trouble, and I think that's going to be a really important component going into the district tournament. Learn how to play defense by moving your feet, and staying out of foul trouble. And last night, when we stayed out of foul trouble, we showed we're pretty tough.
That's a little bit of something that you've had to battle through at times this year. So that's obviously going in the direction that you need it to as a coach, right?
Yeah, we emphasize. I've put towels in their hands and not let them use their hands because in the summertime, Brian, I'll be honest, they let a lot of things go. Mm-hmm. So our girls were really physical and aggressive in the summertime, and they don't realize, hey, I did that this June. I said, well, no, you can't do that. I said, they kind of just getting you through the play days and letting you play a little bit. I said, we've got to be smart, but also be aggressive, but be smart with it,
Sometimes, though, games are called tighter than others, and you've got to just realize that, hey, I'm something that I got away with on Tuesday is not going to work on Friday, and sometimes that's not a thing that clicks with kids until they pick up their second or third foul real quick.
We actually talked about that in practice. You have to adjust to the referee. The referee's not going to adjust to you. And we talk about that. The referee, that's Jade Watson. I'm not going to call that foul. No, that's not how it works. I was like, you got to adjust. Are they calling it tight? Are they letting you play a little bit? You got to realize that. And I think our girls, I really want to applaud them. Last night they adjusted to the reference, and they grew up. And if they can mature like that, I think it's going to be a fun tournament.
Well, Blackman is at your place. Have you already had senior night, or is Tuesday senior night?
No, sir. We've already had senior night. Blackman's coming in on Tuesday. They're undefeated. Best team in the district, I mean, they're a hard team to compete with. So hopefully we can try to give our best.
And then on the road at Riverdale, so your last home game before tournament play starts is on Tuesday night. But you get to play the entire district tournament at your place, and I know that starts on the 18th, and it's going to be a busy week at Rockvale. You got to have a lot of help to get that pulled off.
It's going to take a lot of help, a lot of community, a lot of parents. You guys will be there. It should be a great atmosphere for the county, man. I'm excited about this tournament, being able to host. Also, like you said, we go to Riverdale on Friday, another tough opponent. We never overlook anyone. Mm-hmm. Everyone in our district can play. I mean, they're great coaches, great teams, and we just worry about ourselves, worry about Rockvale and getting better as Rockvale,
Well, there's going to be a lot of basketball because you're hosting part of the TMSAA too, right?
Yeah, the state tournament starts the 14th and 15th, next Friday and Saturday. So you have the best 8 middle school teams coming in. And I think they're narrowing it down. It should be smaller than that. I know my daughter played, my middle school daughter played a couple of weeks ago. And so I think maybe Blackman, Oakland Middle were playing someone to get to the state. I don't know if they made it or not, but yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy time over at the Rock here the next few weeks, and we look forward to coming out and seeing you. Perry, good luck next week, and I know we'll see you here in the next few days in tournament times here.
Thank you, and y'all have a great, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, sounds good. And enjoy that trip up there today. That's pretty special. Perry Lyons joining us, the head coach of the Rockvale Lady Rockets on the Coaches Show, brought to you by my bank, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Rick Hall with Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs. Find out more online at rayburn.net. I'm Danny Brewer. Welcome back to the Coaches Show. I am really, really pleased to be joined now by Siegel head girls basketball coach Brian Weekly. Coach Weekly, how are you?
I'm doing great. Got another day to live and woke up this morning.
There you go. That's right, Coach. Because I just was, I say this every week about what a great time of year it is, because really it truly is exciting to be a part of all this, your district play and getting ready for the district tournament, and spring hopefully is on the. I hope the groundhog was wrong. I don't know. What do you think? You think he said 6 more weeks of winter? What do you think, Coach?
I'm sure we got some type of cold spell coming. I'm in t-shirt and shorts today, so I'm sure it's going to be cold again soon.
I think you're right. The thing about it is around here, February, you never know what's going to happen there. Usually they say if it comes in like a lamb, it goes out like a lion. Or maybe that's March. I don't know. But March is the same way. We've had some huge snowfalls in March during my many years around here. But, you don't know. I think you're right. I got shorts and T-shirt on, too. Right. So it's wishful thinking for me. So let's talk a little bit, Coach, about the week that was for you guys. What happened this week with Siegel girls basketball?
This week we played Rockville last night, and then played Oakland on Tuesday. So those 2 games were just kind of, trying to get better and everything, and just working on us and little things like that.
So if we rewind a little bit, the preceding week, because we only get to talk to you every other week kind of deal.
Right.
So let's talk about the preceding week. I think you guys had a nice win over Riverdale. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Riverdale was a big one for us. It was homecoming night, and the girls, they played really, really well. I was very pleased with how they played. The energy and effort level was great the entire time. I decided in practice that I was going to, just see what I could do and try to change up some things defensively, and it seemed to work pretty well for us. And we got some big, key steals, late in the third and fourth quarter. It seemed like we would cut the lead to 2, and then all of a sudden we'd be back down 10 throughout the most of the game, and then around fourth quarter, somewhere about halfway through the fourth quarter, we got a steal down 1 and, made a huge difference, and a nice layup on the other side to put us up 1. And then just after that, it was just about our defense and just making plays. And the girls, they just played really, really well that night.
Coach, your job, you mentioned that you kind of changed some things up. Of course, as a coach, you're always kind of almost a chemist.
Right.
You add a little bit of this element, you add a little bit of that element, and you hope that what turns out is a good product or something that you want, how you want to turn out, that is. So do you think that sometimes changing things up can be really good because it adds something and maybe creates new challenges for the girls?
Yeah, I think changing it up definitely helps from a standpoint of they're still kids at the end of the day, and if you're in a classroom, doing the same thing over and over every single day, the kids in general are, they're eventually just going to be like, they don't really, not really caring anymore. So changing it up definitely helps because it gets their mind thinking about things again, and kind of keeps them active in practice and bought in, and they're asking questions and they're learning new things that we hadn't taught or done. So. And just really teaching them more and more so that down the road we have more stuff that we can be able to use in a game.
Because keeping the wheels turning upstairs is what you want to do. I mean, that's what you just told me. You want to keep those wheels turning because teaching is important because that's what a coach's job is to teach.
Right.
But getting the kids to learn, that's kind of another challenge, right?
Yeah, and that's. That comes with time and patience. A lot of us coaches, our patience wears thin a lot of times. And for me this year in practice, things that I feel like might take 10 to 15 minutes, unfortunately sometimes take 25 to 30 minutes in practice. And I've just had to be patient with that and, just teach them, as much as I can. And, last Friday really, kind of came full circle on all that. With the girls, taking our game plan and really putting it to use.
So what you want to do is you want to have a bunch of sponges out there, right? And that's kind of sometimes, and that can vary, I'm sure, from week to week, practice to practice, even minute to minute, possession to possession. But how do you kind of promote them being a sponge? What do you think? What's one of the keys to that?
Just building a relationship with them and just consistency with them. The girls are bought in. They listen. That's really the key factor to me is, I got the opportunity to teach and teach and teach, and they are they're great kids. I mean, that's first and foremost. The girls that we have on the team are every one of them are a great kid. We don't have issues throughout the school and things like that, and that makes a huge difference in being able to build a program and whatnot. Is you just have really good kids. So, but
right, that's the building block. That's the foundation of it all, right? Because you have to have some clay to work with, and you feel like you've got some good clay.
Yeah, definitely. And we're a young team. I only got 2 seniors that are playing. So next year I'll have everybody back, and so hopefully in this off season, in the spring and the summer, the girls can continue to get better and everything. And right now we're focused on these last couple games. We got senior night on Tuesday versus Warren County and Blackman and on Friday. So before we get into district play, so just enjoying the moments right now and trying to do everything we can to get better.
So when we talk about getting better, fundamentals we know is obviously very important. Have you coached girls and boys basketball?
Yes.
You have, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think? I mean, fundamentals is important no matter what, I feel like. But do you think that fundamentals are more important maybe in the girls' game just because of the athletic abilities?
Right. Yeah, definitely. You definitely got to hone in on that a little bit more on the girls' side. A lot of guys are, they grow up going outside more and, they have a basketball in their hand a lot more. And on the girls' side, it's just not as much. Of that. So, we spend 25 to 30 minutes every single practice working on, between ball handling, shooting, form shooting, little things like that, defensive positioning, lateral movement. We work on that every single day in practice, passing, just the little details that you don't realize you have to work on. And I definitely do think, you need to do it a little bit more on the girls' side than you do on the boys' side.
So when we're trying to, build basketball players, it's important also to have students of the game, girls who want to learn and want to understand.
Right, and that's something that I've been trying to teach too. Tennessee UConn played the other night, so I pushed that out there to the girls. Hey, tonight's a big game to be able to watch. A big women's basketball game, great rivalry game, and just telling them watch that game, kind of see what you can pick up, learn from it, and little things like that. And just trying to promote girls basketball.
So you want to build a product, you want to get fundamentals in, but then when you put it all together, figuring out how to win. Obviously, you girls did things the right way against Riverdale to get the win. Talk about teaching them how to win.
Yeah, that's next play mentality. That's what I preach a lot of. Early on in the season, if we made a mistake, if a girl if she turned the ball over. She'd, obviously dip her head and, be upset with herself and not get back on defense. So, those things are the things that I've really, focused on with that from the mental side of things and just getting them to understand, like, you're going to make mistakes and, it's okay. You just got to make the next play. And so, that's been, they bought into that and, they really hustle out there and, the Riverdale game was it really showed. The other thing, Riverdale night, the crowd, we had a huge student section out there for, obviously coming for homecoming in the boys game and stuff. But, my assistant coach, she got the student section to stand up during the, fourth quarter of the girls game. And I think that, energized our girls and made a huge difference too. So, the girls they had a lot of blood pumping during that game.
Well, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you do this is because of moments like that. So let's talk a little bit about the Siegel culture, because that's part of the Siegel culture. And guys like Sean Middleton and Principal Larry Creasy and all this, they obviously feed a lot into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the support of that school has been incredible. Everybody supports each other. Whether it's us, my girls, taking my girls to the soccer game, one time to support them, or little things like that. Softball season's coming up, baseball season's coming up. Get the team to go out and support them. One or two times in the games, and that's big in building a culture. And I think Siegel, everybody really does a good job of that. And athletes, they all play multiple sports. I got a couple basketball girls that are going to play flag football. Got a couple that play softball, a couple that play soccer. So. It definitely makes a huge difference with that, because we're all pretty much connected. So,
well, and that's really what high school is supposed to be about, right? I mean, because I know I've got friends today that still talk to me, believe it or not, that I went to high school with, and so my closest buddies are guys I played high school baseball with and stuff. So yeah, all that stuff is important.
Definitely. Yeah.
So this is last district game Friday, and then district tournament. Do you feel like you like where you're at right now as you head toward the district tournament?
I definitely do. I think our girls have, they've grown quite a bit throughout the year. And going into district play or going into the district tournament, like I already know that we're going to be in that 4 or 5 matchup, and just getting prepared for that, and getting them to understand, like, you got one game, and if you can play the way you did last Friday, on the 18th, then you never know how things are going to go, and if you can pull that game out, then the way basketball is in Tennessee, you get you're guaranteed another 3 games at that point. So
right,
just leave it all on court and see what happens.
Got a lot to play for. Brian Weekly, head basketball coach, Lady Stars. We certainly appreciate your time, Coach, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the Murfreesboro Special Census. Counting everyone means more state dollars to improve roads, parks, and services. Fill out the fast, easy, and secure form at murfreesborocensus.com.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm really excited to be joined by Eagleville girls head basketball coach Chris Lynch this morning. Coach Lynch, how are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm quite well. I say this every Saturday morning. This is such a fantastic time of year for me, because you've got the end of the district basketball season. So, district play, I love district play because it's always very competitive, very exciting. People are getting ready for the tournament. Of course, hopefully spring is in the offing. The days are getting longer. I'm a big horse racing guy. It's on the road to the Kentucky Derby. We got all that stuff going. Man, it is a great time of year, isn't it, Coach?
Oh, yeah. All those things. Maybe minus the horses, but that's okay.
Well, I figured a stud like you might enjoy a little bit of thoroughbred racing, but that's a...
Yeah, I do like horse racing. I do like that.
There you go. All right, so, Coach, let's talk a little bit about Eagleville girls basketball here. Tell me a little bit about what happened this past week for the Lady Eagles.
This past week, we had Fayetteville City at home on Friday night, and we had lost several in a row, and we had just lost a tough district matchup to Moore County, and we finally got back in the win column got Brinley Bain back, and she came out and scored 20, hit 5 threes. So that was a nice lift. We've been missing her for about 5 or 6 weeks since the Riverdale game. And so that gave us a whole new dimension, and also got us a little deeper in our bench. So it was a really good night. Played at home, had a really good crowd. So that was last Friday night. And then Tuesday we had another little hiccup against Cascade and cut it to a 2-point game late, and they ended up winning by 4. Still weren't, our offense didn't clicking good, and so we had a couple of good days of practice. Had Huntland last night and played really well. We finally played good for 4 quarters and sped the game up. It might have looked a little sloppy at times, maybe a little bit of that on purpose. And Mia Thompson came in and had 19 points, and Bailey Suter had double figures with 10. We shot it pretty well, and our defense caused a lot of turnovers. So that was a good revenge game against Huntland. We went there and lost about 5 or 6 points, and then last night we had probably a 25-point lead in the fourth quarter and got some other girls some playing time. So it was a good night.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about I think both these girls are seniors. Bain and Thompson. Are they both seniors for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think last night was senior night. Is that right?
It was.
So when you talk about having a couple of kids like Bain and Thompson, I know you mentioned Bain hit 20 the other night, Thompson hit 19 last night. Talk about those girls and what they've done, not only this year for Eagle, but throughout their Lady Eagle career.
Yeah, they have both been really good scorers since their 6th grade year. And they've enjoyed a lot of success. They mentioning the other seniors, we have 6, so I feel like they provide a good supporting cast around them, and they're both really good competitors, and they just play really hard and they care a lot about the game. So I think that really, they put a lot of work in, and when both of them are on the same night, we're really hard to beat. When one of them is on, and teams have been face guarding Brinley, so it's made it kind of hard, and it does open it up a lot for other people. But they are, in middle school, I'm pretty sure they both averaged about 17 points a game their 8th grade year, and went really far in the TMSAA tournament, down to the close to the finals, and they've carried that on. Brinley was our leading scorer of the 6 or 7 games. She came up her 8th grade year, and that was from the non-starting spot. So that was through district and region tournaments, and they just both have a knack of scoring the ball. Brinley's more of an outside shooter, and she's added some drive to her game. Good mid-range. Mia Thompson can do it from anywhere. She's a great penetrator. She's also leading us in assists. She's leading us in rebounding. She's leading us in total points. Her and Brinley both, probably up above 15 points a game. Brinley was up around 18 when she got hurt, so I know she's probably close to 18, 19 points a game right now. Shooting a little over 40% from three-point range, around 44%. And Mia's around 60% from 2-point and around close to 40 from 3. So, they're just both special players, and it's fun to coach them, especially when your leading scorers are your hardest workers. It really helps out, because they're both really good defenders. Mia is probably one of the best hand-the-ball defenders that I've ever coached. And she usually carries a tough assignment every night on the other team, getting, one of their best players, or at least the best ball handler. Brinley's physically tough, and, of course, she is in superb shape, signed with Arkansas to play softball. So, just built different.
Built different, that because when you all the things that you just told me tells me that these girls aren't just scorers. They are fantastic all-around basketball players and fantastic athletes, because when you talk about, Thompson rebounding, assists, scoring, I mean, defensively, she's kind of like the total package.
She is. They both are. Great girls, great grades. So great parents. So you just can't, you can't ask for much more.
When we talk about, you mentioned something else when we were talking about Brindley Bain, 8th grader. So what for those out there who don't know, Eagleville School, you get to see these kids come up from a young age all the way through middle school into high school. So that kind of lends a little bit more, because it's the Eagleville community. So got to be kind of special for you, because I know you've been there a few years, to be able to watch these kids come up through the ranks.
Yeah, and also at Eagleville, since it's one school under one building, they're eligible to play their 8th grade year. So it's not like at other schools, if you have a separate school name or you're not under one building, under one roof, you don't have the option to play as an 8th grader. But and that happens every now and then. The year she came up, or the year they came up, they just both, we needed a little lift on the high school team, and they provided that. So, that made it nice.
So, Coach, let's talk about what you got coming up. I know, big win last night. What do you got coming up the week that's the week to be?
We have Fayetteville City Friday night, and that's our only game. So we'll take a few days and step back and probably work on a lot of fundamentals, do some shooting, probably get some film work in, probably Monday or Tuesday, and then try to put 2 really good practices together to go on the road at Fayetteville. And that's always a very hard place to play. We want a real close game at home against them. They're really long, athletic, have good shooters. And, they're just a tough team to play, and it's a big game as far as, our seeding in the district. So, I know everybody's wanting to stay away from Moore County first round. And, so it's a big week in how we prepare for it. So, we're going to go in and kind of enjoy last night's win for a day and then get back to work.
So when we talk about district tournament, where is the district tournament going to be hosted at this year?
Well, the district tournament is at Huntland, so that's a long trip for us, and that's going to be a little adversity that we have to fight, and that gym is hard to play in, but it is for everybody. So unless you're playing Huntland, you kind of just both on the even playing field there. So, that trip will probably take us a little over an hour and a half, close to an hour and 45 minutes. And it's windy, curvy roads, and it's not the best ideal situation. But we hosted the district last year, so it's someone else's turn. And so we'll go tackle that challenge.
Well, that's what you do. When we talk about the challenge of the postseason, you build and you want to work towards being the best that you can be at the right time. You feel pretty good about. I know you've had ups and downs and you've had injuries to deal with, but you're pretty healthy now. You feel pretty good about where your team's at and what you've been doing the last couple weeks.
Well, I wouldn't say we're pretty healthy now. I got Brindley back, which really helped, but I've lost a cast of other players, and that's been really challenging for us. And we've also, I'm sure like other teams, though, have had the flu come through, and, we've had a tough time. I wanted to mention my other seniors, though. They all have played for me for, most of them for 5 years, because a lot of them came up their 8th grade year. And Riley Warbritton, she's just a real tough defender, and, she gets it around the block. She's pretty much going to score. Great rebounder. Had Sarah Marshall, who unfortunately did not get to play much. She has had multiple knee injuries, and, unfortunately for her, she's still stuck it in there for us and, kind of took on like a manager role. So that was, real good of her. We enjoy having her around. Aubrey Merritt, she's really smart, knows everything from all 5 positions, and, just a real tough player. And then Jules Weiss, transferred from Oakland her sophomore year. She's turned into our point guard, real good defender, real tough, takes a lot of charges, takes a lot of pride in that. So, we just kind of mix it around. And so we've had Brindley and Mia, Riley, Sarah, Aubrey, and Jules. Just, 6 girls that I'm going to miss.
Oh, absolutely, Coach. Of course, that's the good news and the bad news about this thing is you grow the young ladies, and it's always a challenge because you've got recurring, you've got recurring turnover, but at least you get to enjoy young ladies like this.
That is true. And it's something special. So,
well, it's Coach Chris Lynch. We appreciate your time. We certainly wish you the best of luck as you head to Fayetteville and get ready for the district tournament. Coach, best of luck, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.
All right. Sounds great. Appreciate it.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car. Professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We would like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
It's time to talk MTCS Sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Danny Brewer back with you. Welcome to the Cougar Corner. We are so happy right now to be joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School head girls basketball coach Hannah Jones. Coach Jones, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, fantastic. I want to kind of start this off with, last night I figured out something that I think I already knew, but now I really do know that I know it. And with all of that jibber jabber here, Adam Jones, I was at the Stewart's Creek game last night, Stewart's Creek Laverne, and, I think I knew that Adam was your husband, but now I know that Adam Jones is your husband. He's I tell you, I really enjoyed my interaction with him. Obviously, you must be training him right, Coach.
Well, yeah, he's a good one. You guys need to ask him when you interview him next weekend. You guys need to bring me up too. We'll make it all even here. But yeah, he's pretty great. I've enjoyed him taking the helm over at Stewart's Creek, and his guys are a lot of fun to watch.
So, and I don't know if I'd interview him next week, but I'll tell whoever is interviewing him, make sure that you bring up the lovely Hannah Jones, because she's probably the basketball mastermind of the Jones family. I mean, so we you can go ahead and say it, Coach. Are you the basketball mastermind of the family?
I can say that, but I don't know if that's true or not. He's pretty smart. He may not come off that way all the time, but he's actually sneaky smart. Great basketball IQ. Yeah, well,
I think that you're right. He is, because like I said, I've enjoyed it. We've talked several times before games because I've seen Stewart's Creek play quite a few times, and so I always like talking with him and his assistant Austin Moore I've known for years, and so I like getting with those guys and talking basketball. And he does have a very good basketball mind.
Oh, yeah. When he has come to our games and watched our girls play, and it's fun when we can get to talk about just the different dynamics and things and pick each other's brains. And so, yeah, he's a great one.
So talk a little bit about the dynamics of the basketball family, the Jones basketball family, because how many times do you have a husband and wife that are both head coaches at different schools? So, I mean, the interesting dynamic there.
Oh, I don't know. I do know, I don't know any other coaches who are doing that. I just know that what works for us, and we both love basketball. We met at Lipscomb University when I was assisting there, and I was assisting with Greg Brown, and then he was assisting Casey Alexander before he took the Belmont job, and so that's how we met. So basketball's just kind of always been with us, so it's really fun. And once I got out of assisting in college, I think being on the same schedule and even being in the same county is a real blessing, Rutherford County. So we get to spend a lot of time together. A lot of people think that, I think if you have two head coaches at two different schools, you don't. But, oh, my goodness, it's such a blessing. We love it. And we hit all the same calendar, which I'm thankful since I work in private and he's at public that we do have that. Rutherford County matches up quite nicely for our schedules.
Very good. So whenever, obviously, basketball is kind of at the forefront in the Jones household, you help him, he helps you kind of type thing as far as, like you said, he can kind of, because sometimes I guess he comes to your game and he sees things maybe that you don't see. I mean, and does the same hold true for you as far as you watch some of his games and you kind of maybe see things and y'all bounce things off each other?
Oh, yeah, all the time. But I will say boys and girls are very different, and they're very different mentalities to coach, too. So I think I don't think I could ever coach boys. I'm not sure I think he could. I don't know. I don't know if he would want to ever coach girls. It's definitely different. Girls, I love so much just because when you have that relationship, they're going to run through a wall for you, for their teammates. They're going to go above and beyond. I think what their quote unquote like individual talent, they can play above that just based on their mentality. I think guys can too, but I wouldn't know how to motivate that. I understand with girls, that relationship, and just we do so much pouring into with that I love coaching girls. So I'm not I'll stay in the girls coaching lane and he could stay in the boys.
All right. Well, so let's talk a little bit about a couple of your girls that you have. I know that Ashley Rucker I think she had a pretty good week. And talk a little bit about her, because I think she had a couple of 20-plus point games, right?
Oh, yeah. So last night she had right on the dot 20. And then I think BGA scored 24. So, yeah, past two games, she's done really, really well. A lot of it is really just her ability in the paint and her physicality, getting past, like, even with the ball or just O-boards, getting on the boards, rebounding-wise, and putbacks and get the ability to get to the free throw line. Been very, very proud of her effort. I think she's had a double-double the past two games as well. Last night she had 20 points and 14 rebounds. So she's getting after it. She's working hard to just keep leading her team and bringing them along.
Rebounding is about work. I mean, that's just the bare bones basics of it. Rebounding is about work. So obviously she must have a pretty good work ethic. And when you think about, 14 rebounds, that's pretty strong.
Oh, yeah, it is. And you said work. Her work ethic is really on another level. So we do strength conditioning during the day with it's in the curriculum. And so she is very consistent. Our strength conditioning coach, Jason Spray, I think I've talked about him on this before. He is always complimenting her and her new PRs and what she's doing in the weight room. But then she also gets to school. She is consistently, even probably the day after a game, like a Tuesday night game, you've got a full school week. She is up 6:30 a.m. before school getting shots up in the gym. So very, very impressed with her work ethic.
Do you think that that's one of the things that sports can help you with as far as developing that work ethic? That obviously, I've always said this, youth sports is a training ground for life, period. So do you think that that's something that hopefully she's going to carry and can help her throughout her entire existence?
I hope so. I sure do. She's got it. She's got it in her. I think a lot of it is intrinsic. And so maybe for some, it comes a little easier, that habit building. But for others who it's not as internal, just that drive that God gave them, that inner work. There's some that you have to build those habits and have those external cues of like, okay, keep doing this. And sports do help you learn that. your time management, your just how we're looking and how we respond to things and the timing of everything, I think is really, really important. So different kids do it differently, but that is one of the ways I measure success. Can they handle when they graduate? So I think Ashley's going to be really, really set up for success in everything that she's doing right now, on and off the court, with her work ethic.
You mentioned about the conditioning and the physical workouts and all that kind of stuff. That's something that pretty much you feel like to be a successful player in today's game that you need to have a good physical workout and good effort in that, all those kind of avenues as well?
Oh yeah. Coaches don't want to coach attitude and effort. You got to have the effort. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to go very far. So yeah, I'm blessed to have players like her.
So let's talk a little bit about another one of your players. I think that she had a good game Tuesday night, the Haynes, Ambria Haynes. Talk about her.
Mm-hmm. So she went down early season with a very specific type of ankle injury that we weren't sure she was going to be able to come back at all this season. So she has come in. We've gotten her working back in practice and like getting the green light from the doctor, athletic trainer. So yeah, when she came back in, I think what was her first game back? BGA. Came in. She brings a very anchoring presence inside and also an emotional, like she is fiery. She is communicative, but in kind of like I don't want to say like a chip on your shoulder because sometimes that's taken as negative, but she gets out there and she is going to fight for her teammates. She's going to be loud. She's going to talk. She's going to be expressive. But it's all in the ways that gets us fired up. And so she just brings another layer back to us that we have missed this whole season. She had a good game last night too. She had 13 points. And let's see here. Oh, she had a double-double too. 13 points and 11 rebounds. Way to go, Bree. Love that.
Yeah, a double-double, and once again, that's all about effort. And so when you had two girls that can do that kind of stuff, obviously that makes you feel good as a coach. Yeah, it definitely does. And I think just rebounding is such a big thing that we focus on. And it's nice to just have someone who can consistently go after and get it. Because some nights Bree just has that kind of natural instinct to go get the board. She loves it. That's her favorite thing to do. She has said it out loud. She's like, "Who's crashing the boards?" I am, right? I'm like, yes, Bree, of course you are. And so it's awesome to have that reliable source of physicality, second chance points, just another way to pick up when kind of like you need it. And that's great. Love it. So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about what you got coming up. I know that you've had injuries. You've got some players back now. Do you like where your team is at right now as far as, the who you've got on the bench and who you've got on the floor and what you've got coming up?
I've loved where our team has been every step of the way. So, yes, right now, but they have gone through so much. These girls at MTCS, I need to come to them from the beginning. Everywhere we've gone, yes, I love where we are right now. Would I love us to have a full roster? Yes, but that's just the way that it's been, and I've loved them every single step of the way. They have stepped up in so many ways. So I think that now that we've added Bree back, which is the dynamic post player, kind of where she can anchor us, and we're not as guard heavy. And I had to pull up some 8th graders who are obviously fighting and learning all the time, and they're at a different speed, different level. But with Ashley Rucker, and we've had Amaya Thompson, she also came back from her ACL. She tore her ACL this summer and came back, her at the point. And then we have a freshman, Elise White, who I pulled up as an 8th grader last year. So she knows me. She brings, oh my goodness, Elise brings such a level of just, she's that culture kid you want, who's always going to fight. She's never going to give up. It doesn't matter if she's tired. So yeah, each piece that we've got putting together right now, I think they're all bought in. They've gone through it together, injuries and just adversity. And I think that because of that, it gives us a kind of not just a springboard to sneak up on people. I know that we've lost a lot of games, but we've won some really good ones too. And I think it's because of their heart, their grit, their tenacity. They're coming together. They're never quitting. They're never giving up. They're fighting till the very end. So I'm I'm very, very happy with this team.
So, Coach, we're going to talk about a couple things before we exit here. Number one, I'm a huge horse racing guy, love the sport. You're a thoroughbred, one of the finest fillies around here. There's a big race at Tampa Downs today. It's on the Kentucky Derby Trail. It's the Sam Davis Stakes. There's a horse in there, John Hancock. He's unbeaten, trained by Brad Cox. So the John Hancock, what I want to talk about, everybody, what do you think about when John Hancock? Well, it's the signature. That's what his is the most famous signature on the Declaration of Independence, I believe. So John Hancock, you've been able to put your signature on this program and done it in a very, very positive way. Talk a little bit about the rewards that you've had by putting your John Hancock, or in this case, Jane Hancock, on Middle Tennessee Christian School basketball.
Well, I think I don't know how much I've done with this group. I do know that I love this group and I love these girls. You've got players like Amaya who transferred in, had to sit out, tore her ACL in the summer, so she had to sit out again. And instead of quitting basketball or leaving MTCS, she loved the school. She loved our team. She loved coaching with me. Honestly, I kind of see her as a coach sometimes because she's been on the bench with us. So I'll just use her as an example. She has been through it, and the fact that she has stayed in and toughed this out, that's where I think we're building a culture of loyalty, of just love for hard work, but then also love for celebrating your teammates' successes. I'm very, very thankful, and I hope that just building the confidence of these girls and understanding that making a mistake is a part of life, and you're always going to have tough times and juggling lots of things in life. If I can help them get better at that, okay, then I'll be maybe that's what God put me there for, to coach in the coaching world, because it can be tough sometimes, but these girls make it all worth it. I think just watching Ashley Rucker come up from freshman, sophomore, junior year, just in these eighth graders that we pull up, being at a small school, I think so. I guess maybe just playing through adversity and learning how to be a growth mindset and making a new mistake. And basketball is just what we do, not who we are. But at the same time, we're going to put our best foot out there. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. That's a very tough question.
I think that was a very solid answer. So John Hancock, by the way, he's 3-1 on the morning line at Tampa today. So we'll be rooting for John Hancock in your honor, Coach. I guarantee I'll have a ticket on him. Oh. But anyway, so the next thing I want to talk about is cooking, because we love to cook, we love to eat. So what's on tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday. I don't really care that much about pro football, but I do care about food. So we're going to have a nice menu at our house. What's going to be cooking at the Jones household for Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, we're going to have practice before the game, and we're going to make sure that we knock out practices. We're supposed to play Monday, I believe. We're going to FRA, so we're going to prepare for that. And then I think my husband wants to do, game day spread. I don't know. He's probably going to have little smokies, some Rotel dip, sandwiches. I don't know. He's going to be the one fixing it all up.
So it's going to be the Adam Jones menu there, maybe some chicken wings. Yeah. Can Adam Jones cook chicken wings?
Yeah. I think he's a pretty good griller. That's his thing.
There you go. All right. Well, outstanding. Coach, I know you said you got a game Monday. District tournament, when does it start for you folks?
Our first round is Monday. I'm pretty sure. I have to go back and look at it. And then I think the boys play Tuesday. And then so before I hopped on this call, we were on our district meeting, and I have to go just double check, but correct me if I'm wrong. We're supposed to play at FRA Tuesday, who's doing really, really well. They've got all their young kids that have come up together. They're a tough dynamic, but I like that draw for us. And just where we're coming from, bringing pieces back. So I think it could be a really, really good game for us.
And then is FRA the host site for the district tournament, or is it just it's at their place and then you go to a host site?
Yep, it's at their place because they're technically the higher seed, and then the district tournament is being hosted at Battleground Academy, just the semifinals and finals.
Okay, Coach. Well, Coach Hannah Jones, we certainly do wish you the best of luck. I'm sure Adam Jones will have a fantastic spread tomorrow. You guys will have a great practice. You'll come enjoy some nice food, and then Monday you'll get after them down there at FRA. Coach, we appreciate your time, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
Welcome back to the MTCS Cougar Corner this morning. As we wrap things up here for the day, let's take a look at some of the scores from this past week on your Cougar Corner scoreboard. And on Tuesday, some finals for you. Well, let's go to Monday. We've got a few Monday things we can talk about here. Middle school varsity was a 39-30 winner over Good Pasture in basketball play. And the boys middle school varsity 54-25 over Ezell Harding in the TIAA quarterfinals. Then on Tuesday, the JV boys lost a tough one to BGA 54-52, and BGA beating the varsity girls 57-42, and the guys fall 82-33. Congratulations and good luck in the nationals this week for all of the cheer teams as they continue to compete. And on the 7th, which was last night, of course, 62-59, the JV boys beat Grace Christian. It was a 41-33 win for the varsity girls, while the boys fell 69-45. So upcoming, we've got tournament play. That begins, of course, this next week. And for varsity teams, so good luck to all of the teams in district tournament play. Cool thing going on, if you can head to mtcsathletics.com, you can see that football is getting some new lockers and flooring during the offseason, so that will be really cool. They've got a photo of what it will look like, and some new flooring and state-of-the-art lockers coming. So that's big news in MTCS athletics. And the cheer advancing to the national finals as well, rec cheer. So good luck today in all of that competition. Okay, well, that's going to wrap us up here this morning. That's your Cougar Corner scoreboard and Cougar Corner in the books today. Thank you so very much for joining us here this morning. And want to thank Danny Brewer, John Dinkins for co-hosting with me this morning, as well as Dalton Barrett, our producer. Stay with us on WGNS. A busy week of high school sports next week. Then it's district tournament time for the Division I teams. Division II, again, beginning this week. Have a great Saturday. We've got some Lady Raider hoops for you this afternoon at 4:30. Hope you'll tune in for that. So long, everybody, and enjoy this wonderful weekend.